Alright, here's something I think about is, usually I believe in freedom, right? Almost always.
Yeah.
But it's probably not good, because here's an example. There's two examples. For one, a giant pit bull. Imagine the biggest, strongest, meanest pit bull on a leash, and a little girl's holding the leash. The pit bull can absolutely run away at any time, but it doesn't. Okay, so Mike Tyson, without customata, I was playing again, is nothing. He's nothing. He's a homeless, violent criminal. With customata, submitting to customata, absolutely, and doing, literally being slave to customata, doing anything he ever says is willing to die for customata.
Mike, did you love him or you were afraid of him?
Both.
Really?
Yeah. Both.
How did you reconcile that? Loving him and being afraid of him?
How do you reconcile that? You're his slave. If he told me to kill you, I would kill you.
Really?
Yeah.
He can be world champ because Customata was able to use the fire of fear that was in this lost boy's heart in order to create champions. So, a child needs to submit to a father, and man must submit to a god, because without something to rein us in, we're lost, more than likely. So I believe in freedom, but you have to accept that.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
And that is proven to work. I don't know. There might be something else that
There's something wrong with it.
No, there is, because I know a few individuals who are kind of different and are pretty successful as of right now.
Alright, so knowledge as Saturn.
Oh yeah, this one's good.
So it's two things. It's both the hero's journey and it's also articulation to one concept and also a lot of concepts. Saturn has many layers. It has space, the ring, the atmosphere and gas. Let's say it's Earth now, oceans, land, and then lava, and then you get to the core. So in the Saturn, you have the core, which is a very heavy, dense metal. That is finely articulated ideas. That's hard, finite fact. As you move out, you get into realms of logic and forms, and then by the time you get to the atmosphere and Saturn's rings, you're in very unarticulated, undefined concepts, which are the artists. The artist, it's Pink Floyd, it's King Crimson, it's Da Vinci, it's those fucking crazy dudes from that period that we learned about in history class that I can't remember. I almost put images. And that's when we have unarticulated concepts. So the medicine man's journey, you have to go into chaos to articulate things. Outside of the rings is space. What's space? Darkness. What's darkness? Chaos. In order to articulate something, you have to go out into chaos and bring something back. So how does that apply to Saturn? I don't remember. I guess a meteor has to come and, which is from the chaos, and fall into Saturn and create a more stronger gravitational pull some dust together and finite something.
That's weird. Dude, oh my god, that was an intense little vision there. Dude, think about it like this. God just slowly sends the meteors down, and those meteors make the gravitational pull increase until...
Yeah, and they're out of chaos.
No, until the ring is fully sucked in.
Yeah.
So then there's just no ring. And there's...
Well, no, there'd be another ring. So it just grows and grows and grows. Now it's just infinite.
That's an illusion, though.
No, it's not. There would be another ring. But that one comes in, you gain more and more knowledge. Soon you're Jupiter, soon you're a planet bigger than Jupiter, but there's always going to be a ring.
Dude, are things that are infinite an illusion? Dude.
No.
That's an interesting thought. Entertain it.
Okay. Everything's infinite. Are things that are infinite an illusion? No.
Just think about it.
That's you getting stuck in the center of the fractal.
It's just an interesting thought.
Well, I know, but you're getting stuck in the center of the fractal.
I'm not. This is a new idea for me. I've never thought about this before.
Everything's infinite. Is everything an illusion?
I think things that are infinite are probably an illusion because we can't process them. So, I think
is reality.
Perception is reality because what yeah, wait, dude. Yeah, dude, this thought process, just anything that's dude, this is back to the trip. We're gonna have to go into the trips now because, dude, it has to, man. Dude, everything that's a circle is an illusion, and the devil throws circles of illusion at you, man. And things that circle, circular logic. Dude, I was literally sitting there. Circles are surrounding me of circular logic. And then I was sitting on the couch down there in the living room, and I was like, dude, it's a circle. And I did this, and I teleported upstairs. Dude, yeah, but seriously, dude, it's all, dude, anything that's a circular logic train is false. And that's remember the bend? Okay, remember the bend circle of red herrings, dude? Yeah. It's that all over again, man.
Yeah. Well, no.
The devil does that. He just throws circular logic.
Yeah, he gets you stuck in the one center of fractal.
No, but dude, he's way smarter than you're giving him credit for, man. He gives these elaborate universal things, which I don't even think the universe is real, dude. I think that's another illusion that you're getting trapped in, dude.
No, I've been in that mindset where I don't think the universe is real, and I'm not convinced it is. But it's a great metaphor.
It's a cool imagery.
But more than anything, I think the universe is just knowledge it's just. I think really smart people found the same thing, and they think it's, oh, well, this must be what we live in, when in reality it's just an articulation of knowledge. That's what I think.
I kind of agree with that completely. I think that's true.
Yeah, so
I think that's just what you see when you close your eyes.
I can't decide. It's for sure that
heavenly realms, dude. That's what it is.
But here's the thing: is
different dimensions.
Everything's infinite. We can't perceive everything. First of all, perception isn't reality. Because if you do acid and think you can fly for about 4 seconds.
Drugs are evil.
Let me finish. You can fly for about 4 seconds till you fall on pavement and die. So perception isn't reality. I can perceive that. That Coke bottle staring at me. It's not. So perception isn't reality to some degree. But what was the other point? Oh yeah, everything is infinite, right? So we live in more than 3 dimensions.
For sure.
There's, what is it? Theorized to be 12 dimensions? I don't know.
I'd say
let's say it's 12.
I think there's 5.
All right, let's say there's 5. There's at least 5 dimensions around us.
Yeah.
12, 14, I don't know. I've heard 36, I think. 36. There's for sure many dimensions around us. We perceive 12 because if we did evolve as chimps, it was just, okay, we need a filter to filter this out and focus in on the ones that allow me to find food and water, which is these 3. So sometimes in your subconscious, or if you're high, or just in meditation and prayer, you can access little bits of the other dimensions that are around us all the time. So everything is infinite, and you can't get stuck in the one center of the fractal. That's not. Everything is infinite, because right now around us there's infinite dimensions, and we can perceive them sometimes, but you said they're not there because we don't perceive them. We only don't perceive them because God, man isn't supposed to always perceive them. God is supposed to always perceive it. So then the fractal zoom theory, also a Bible verse. So,
fractal zoom theory, yeah.
Yeah, fractal zoom theory, of course.
Fractal zoom theory. I'm about to define that.
Fractal zoom theory.
Fractal zoom theory is basically the fact that the devil's main trick is showing you
one little bit.
Yeah, right.
One word on a page.
I'm gonna explain this.
Of a whole book.
So the devil presents you two different visions. One is super blurry and hard to see, and the other one is super clear and it's the same picture. And the way the devil's presenting it to you, it's like on a TV screen, so you can only see a 2D vision of it, right? It's not turning; it's just a picture, and you can look at it in depth, and it's like a fractal, right? We're just gonna use that as an example. So the devil's like, look at this one; it's much more clear. This one is blurry, but it's the same exact thing, except this one's clear. You want this one because it's clear. And you're like, obviously, logically, yeah. But you can eventually see that it's a fractal. And what the devil's done is he's zoomed in on one thing, and it looks the same because it's a fractal. So it's zoomed in to the same thing, so it sees the same because that's in 2 dimensions. But you can slowly start to crystallize or look deep into the blurry one. You start to see more and more and more,
Yep.
and you realize, holy shit.
Okay. You cannot read. You have no knowledge of reading. But there's a book in front of you. The devil will teach you one word. That is just freaks you out. But it's a lie because it's just one word in a giant book that tells a whole story. That if you have the discipline to try and understand sober rather than doing one trip to understand one word, you will understand more and you can articulate more. So imagine a circle that is blurry and you can fill in with dots of articulation. Now if you just stay on one dot your whole life, that's the lie of the devil because there's a whole giant universe that you're missing.
Right.
But you can use it to fill in this amazing thing. Or it's, fractals is what you talked about. They zoom in infinitely and zoom out infinitely.
Right, and that's why it can look the
It's-
same when the devil presents it to you. That's the thing.
Yeah, because it's the same shape. That's a good point. So you zoom in on one fractal
Yeah.
and you go, this is the most intense, I'm in this new universe. Oh my god, this is truth, we're living in nothing. When in reality, you zoom out, you're in all this, and you have to fill in each point, and it's one giant fractal. So
Yeah, but then there's an extent where the devil zooms you
so
out.
it's like my thing with the lake. Earlier we were talking
The devil
about.
can zoom you out too much too.
I think I'm not sure. Maybe.
I'm 95% sure.
All right. Anyway, so we were talking about the lake. Earlier I was talking about how I sit in front of this computer in front of a glass door behind me and looking at my backyard, which is out in a lake and there's trees, and I think about how the reality of this world is so much more powerful than the computer I'm looking at, where my backyard's back there. You walk outside and there's particles, which are oxygen, moving throughout, being controlled by magnetic waves, which brush alongside matter in the form of leaves and trees and move it around, while light is reflected from the sun and going through water particles in the air to make more and more light and shadow off the leaves to make infinite shadow and light. And it's way more powerful than any computer can ever use to simulate. Then you walk out on my dock, and there's a million frogs and a million nematodes and little bugs and spiders and a million dragonflies, that each one's little life story could be a movie where the frog kills a butterfly and goes under it's storming one night and it's cold and he swims down more deep than he's ever swam before and he finds a cove under the lake under like a tree that's kind of warm and he's safe, and his whole life could be a giant movie. All that is just in my backyard, and then you have the Grand Canyon, fucking Mars, the whole world. It's so intense that the fact that we would ever spend any time watching TikTok or porn is a total lie and literal insanity of a society. So the devil is like that. The devil is like the zoom in on one frog. Look at the intensity of this one life. And he gets you tricked into just this one fractal of just a frog, when in reality it's a whole pond. But if you're smart, you can go into it and fractal a lot and fill in the dots to create the shape that is it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how life works sometimes.
Alright, so yeah, some things are better understood than defined. Try and understand things. We go to school our whole lives and things are defined. That's such a simple thing. That's why people laugh at art. You can't define art. Just try and understand it. And it's a different concept.
Yeah, we should throw understanding versus...
So like
definition.
sometimes, you get a debate is a joke because that's all very defined things. You can lose a debate but be right if you have a greater understanding.
Ben's the king at that.
Yeah, he is the king of that because he's horrible at debate, but he's usually fucking right. Another way to articulate, I'm talking to the mic, unarticulated knowledge, like a pie chart, right? So, psychology, there's a million different subjects in psychology. The reason man has ego is to study and define something and say this is the truth. Like Freudian psychology is the truth. I'm going to spend my whole life researching this one method. It's not. But his ego, as a hive mind creature, did the right thing, because as a hive mind creature, it fills in a pie chart better. So at the end of the day, you want to study all subjects. in this pie chart. But that's the hive mind. So ants it takes 1 million ants to make an anthill. We have an ego as a mechanic of our hive mind behavior that allows us to, and not all of us have egos, we all have to some degree, but varying degrees across this hive mind thing, that allows us to buckle down and sort of really articulate one thing because our ego says, I need to prove this one, I believe this is the full truth. And what that does is the pie chart, or I was using the dots metaphor before, or the fractal metaphor, it crystallizes and defines and articulates more fully one sliver of a pie chart, or one dot in a circle, or one fractal in the fractal. So many people do that to fill in this grand narrative.
Unarticulated knowledge. Everything is a scam. This ain't what we want. You and from in life by just thinking about memories. I was absolutely zooted when I wrote this. Dude, yeah, this is not. Demon makes me. Dude, that's not even legible, half of it. I literally wrote demon Freudian attack. That's insane. Demon Freudian attack.